Okay, last major one here for our learning section before you get to move on and choose some of the lessons that you want to do. Die in the work plane, so making a die for this. So continue to the next step right off the bat. Go ahead and use your mouse on the view cube to look around the die. You'll see some sides have numbers on them, some sides don't. So we are going to finish off this die. You can we're going to drag the work plane to the front side of this die. Now be careful that you're accurate in where you're placing it. Don't place it up top. Don't place it on the side, right where we want to put our stuff. So click on the next step. Shapes panel, we're going to change this to Design Starters, and then we're going to switch over to Letters and Numbers. We're going to find the number 5 on the letters or numbers and position it near the area highlighted in orange. Doesn't have the hint up on the work plane for us. I don't quite know why, but then scale the thickness of the 5 down to 1 millimeter so it matches the area highlighted in orange. So all it wants us to do is take this 5, and right now it's defaulting it to 4. Right now we couldn't roll this die, so we need to make that number a little bit thinner. So we're going to switch it down, squish it down to 1. You could also type it in right there. You could also change the snap grid. I don't think we've talked about that quite yet in class, but if we have, you know about it. Otherwise, you can change this to a smaller number to make it fit to where you want it a little bit easier. We'll get to that stuff later on. Drag the work plane to the top of the die. So I'm going to drag that work plane back out, put it at the top of that die, make sure I'm accurate in where I'm placing it, and we're going to pull the 6 out on that work plane. And we're going to do that same kind of process of scaling that number 6 down to 1 millimeter so it's a rollable die. Continue the next step. Drag the work plane out into a blank location. Make sure not to drop the work plane out of shape this time. And that's how you get rid of that work plane. We've talked about that. Select all shapes on the die, so click and drag, group them together. And I probably should have made that look a little bit better, but now we have a working die.